In my previous video, I said this. I don't know why you want to be a magic build. So in this video, I'm going to find out why you would want to be a magic build, and I'm going to see how overpowered being a sorcerer really is. Obviously, I picked the sorcerer starting class, and I tried to make a character that would look somewhat like the average mage user, but unfortunately, my character got deleted by accident. So I went in, got the staff, and went straight into the Asylum Demon boss fight. It was extremely easy, as you would expect. I totally did not die. After I beat the boss, I went straight to Filing Shrine, and I went to the Undead Berg. On my way up, I didn't want to take the time to go and get the Ring of Sacrifice, so I decided to just leave it, thinking I wouldn't need it. This may or may not be foreshadowing for later in the video. Anyways, so I pretty much ran past everyone. I went straight to the Taurus Demon. This boss was one of the more challenging boss fights when I first played this. So let's see how I did. This boss was so easy. He was basically a joke. I just backed up and did loads of spells, and then every now and again I had to go past him. But apart from that, I beat him with ease. My next aim was to kill the bell gargoyles, and along the way I also got the basement key and the mystery key, and I also freed Lautrec. Now I came back to Filing trying to get the bonfire, and I decided to kill Lautrec for the favor and protection ring, and I was more bothered about the HP than anything else. But this was a massive mistake, as I realized I did not have nearly enough ammo to kill Lautrec. So I essentially got forced to go and kill the bell gargoyles. And the bell gargoyles wasn't too bad. This was a very tough fight for me in my first playthrough, but I pretty much demolished it with the magic. I wouldn't say it was easy like the other fights, but it was way easier than it definitely should have been. With my newfound souls, I went down to Nulano Ruins to go and speak to Vicar so I could buy the heavy soul arrow. I really had no idea how good this was going to be, but soon you'll see how overpowered this spell is. But we have another problem coming up to Filing Shrine, as Lautrec is kind of blocking the way. And I did try and kill him by trying to get him to fall down the elevator, but I'm pretty sure there's an aggro wall, so we're just going to have to tolerate him for now. After getting past Lautrec, I went to go and kill my next victim, the Moonlight Butterfly. But on the way is a Titanite Demon, so I thought I might as well test my new spell on that, and I was blown away by how good the Heavy Soul Arrow is, because it's doing like 3 or 4 times more damage, and it only takes like 1 second longer to cast. So this is a mental, like really good asset to this playthrough right now. The Moonlight Butterfly was basically the same as normal, but the only difference being that I can actually attack him while he's flying. So this boss didn't take absolutely ages like he usually would. I also tried to go and get Sift, but I actually absolutely got demolished on my way there. So I decided to do something else, and I decided why not go over to Blighttown, because Quelac isn't too difficult, or so I thought. So I went over there, got down, and I went the Valley of the Drake's Way because I'm not using Pyromancy in this one. It's sorcery only, so no power within. So I went, got to the Quelac boss, and I pretty much used all my ammo, and I could not beat the boss. I did not have enough damage to beat the boss. But at the end of my first attempt, I realized something, that when I hit the human part of Quelac, she actually takes more damage than usual. So I was kind of trying to capitalize off that, and I spent a few attempts trying to do that, but there was no way to reliably do it, and unfortunately, I had to leave Blighttown empty-handed. Also, I thought, on my way back up, I actually realized there's another catalyst in there. So I went back down to go and check it out, and this looks super powerful. So I was thinking, I'm going to be doing some epic damage to Quelac, and unfortunately, I was wrong. So I really did have to go out of Blighttown empty-handed, unfortunately. But I actually did manage to get a Firekeeper Soul on my way up. I did obviously die, because that's kind of to be expected in that area. But at least I managed to make it out of Blighttown. Oh, well, at least I managed to make it out of Blighttown the next time. So I'm sure you can imagine, I'm pretty frustrated that I just died 4 times coming out of Blighttown, and I literally pretty much have nothing to show for it. But next up, what's going to happen next is going to be even more frustrating. So, I wanted to go and feed Griggs to get some magic stuff from the Lower Undead Berg. So, I went over to the Lower Undead Berg, and I talked to him, and then I realized I totally forgot to get the key. So I went back to get the key, and then I realized I had the master key. So I came back, and then I realized, oh, that the master key doesn't actually work to free Griggs. So I'll need to actually go back and buy the residence key. And then I freed Griggs, and then I decided, let's have a try at the Cap of Demon, because I'm gonna need the souls to buy the things from Griggs. So I went up. I obviously died on him. He's a pretty tough boss and a very rubbish boss as well. But I came back. I tried again, and I managed to do it. All 6,000 souls from the Cap of Demon were in my inventory. But the worst thing happened. All of the dogs and the assassins came out, and unfortunately I died. And I lost all of my souls. Remember back when I was saying I should have got the Ring of Sacrifice earlier in the video? This is why. This is why. Like, for real, I just lost all my souls. So I went over to Filing Shrine. I just forgot to mention this in the video, but basically I did kill Lotric after getting the new spell. The first thing I did after coming back from Blacktown, which is how I was able to rest at Filing Shrine. So here's the footage of me killing him right now and reclaiming Filing Shrine. So you know, Filing Shrine has been reclaimed at this point. I mean, I'm not going to go to the entire depth now to get the Gaping Dragon. I couldn't be bothered with that. And I went in my inventory just to try and pop some souls and maybe hope I have enough to buy something. And I actually did. I had enough to buy the other spell, the Great Tower or whatever it's called. So I decided to test it on none other than one of my enemies. One that killed me when trying to leave Blighttown. That stupid, massive dragon. And it wasn't really what I was expecting. I was expecting to be slower and more damaging. But it's very good. And this means that I could probably go and conquer Blighttown now. I was ready to get my revenge on Chaos Witch Quelaag. Before I did that, I quickly grabbed RTSR because I might need it later in the run. And I went over to Blighttown and I absolutely decimated the boss. I wasn't doing that much damage, but because I could hit her from range, it was super easy. I also managed to hit her an absurd amount of times in her weak spot. Like, I really should have got this lucky earlier. And I decided to keep all of my souls because I wanted to go and spend it on Griggs. I exited Blighttown, hopefully for the last time, because I would rather crack eggs on my head and listen to the thick of it than be in this area for any longer. I went on to spend the things on Griggs, and I got a really good spell, and I also got a ring which boosts my sorcery by 20%, I think, but it's still good. And then I made my way over to Sand Fortress. There honestly isn't too much to talk about here. I kind of just ran through the whole thing until I got to the bonfire. Then I did some exploring because I wanted to get the cage key. Now, I got the cage key and returned back to where I was down below. And I got a Serpent Man to go and, slash the wall, and the wall broke. And then I could go and speak to this other NPC, Logan, who should be able to help me get some more sorceries when I'm done out of here. So I went up, killed the giant who would throw boulders, and I went up to the Iron Golem. The Iron Golem fight was honestly a lot harder than I was expecting because my damage isn't great. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, it's nowhere near as OP as I thought, but we'll see later in the run. Anyway, I did manage to kill it eventually and got a whopping 46,000 wounds coming into an Orlando. Using these souls, I leveled up some points in Vitality and in Intellect. So I had 27 in Vitality and 26 in Intelligence. And Orlando is my favourite area in this game, and as much as I'd love to talk about it, it really wasn't too interesting as a mage build, but what was interesting was the boss. Even though I was a mage build, I still had such a fun time fighting these guys. They gave me a little bit of trouble in the first phase because I did die. But after that, on my second attempt, I managed to get through the first phase. And the first phase was really the hard part. I chose to get Ornstein first and then Smo after, because Smo is kind of the easier one. So I just wanted to go him in the second phase because the second phase is the harder version of them. And yeah, honestly, I had a fun time. And honestly, this was not the duo fight that gave me the most trouble. The duo fight that actually gave me the most trouble was the flipping archers. But anyway, with the souls I got from Unseen and Small, I actually spent my souls to level up intellect. Now the reason is I was actually planning to get some spells off Logan, and I found one, Soul Spear. It looked really good. 36 intelligence was required. So I decided to level up my intelligence, and then I killed the Hydra and got the Karnak Dusk and whatever, and went to the DLC because I'd rather go to the DLC than carry on to the base game so I can get some really cool dark magic. But that was like a really bad idea because I got decimated by the Sanctuary Guardian and I was doing terrible damage. So I resorted to plan B, and that was to go and kill Sif because he's a mandatory boss anyways, and so I'm gonna get him sooner or later, and he dropped some good souls. So I decided to get him. I was doing some crazy damage to Sif because I'm pretty over leveled for Sif anyways. So once I got rid of Sif, using the souls, I leveled up to level 36 in intelligence. So now I could use a soul spear, and the Sanctuary Guardian was super easy. Like, I decimated him this time. My strategy for Artorias was to equip the Dusk Crown Ring so I can use more Soul Spear. Soul Spear is so much better than any of my other spells. And I also decided to do RTSR since I already had half my HP, so I might as well just get, because I'm probably going to get one shot anyway. So it doesn't really matter. And no hitting Artorias isn't super difficult if you're doing lots of damage like I was anyway. It didn't give me too much trouble. I did die a few times, but it was pretty easy overall. Now that I had killed Artorias, I can finally have access to the dark magic, which is super, super powerful. It did take me a while to actually get them because I was dying a lot in Ulasal Township because I was kind of running past everyone. I didn't really have much ammo, and they did some pretty big damage. But eventually I managed to get Dark Orb, which is kind of just like Soul Spear, but I get 12 of them, so that's really good. And then I eventually got Dark Bead in the Chasm Beer base. Oh my gosh. So I went to the Demon Ruins first after I got that, and I went to go fight Ceaseless Discharge, and I actually managed to start the boss fight using my magic before getting the armor. And then every time I came in the boss fight, it would just not go until I did it again. But anyway, the Dark Bead is insane. I wasn't even using RTSR yet. I was doing crazy damage. And that goes with the Demon Fire Sage as well. I literally 3-shot the boss. And the Centipede Demon was also a joke. I mean, I only used it once because I was using Soul Spear. But this is crazy. And then, obviously, I went to Lost Isolate. And to embrace my dark side, I decided to go and kill Solaire. And then I had a legendary battle with the mythical, legendary Onion Head of Katarina himself. And it was super easy because I just used Dark Beam and Soul Spear and I legit just obliterated all of the weird monsters. And then if you've played this game, you know what's coming next, the Bed of Chaos. And the Bed of Chaos was kind of just standard how it usually is. It's just the typical torture that is the Bed of Chaos. I wasn't overpowered for this fight at all. Next up, I went down to the catacombs to go and fight Pinwheel. I just skipped basically the whole level using some parkour. And then I got to the boss fight and, you know, like usual, it's just over in a matter of seconds. However, what isn't like usual is when I got to the Gravelord Nito fight, that was also over in a couple of seconds. And then that was when I realized something. At this point in the game, the bosses are all basically just Pinwheel. Next up, I went to New Londo, ran through everything, and then I got to the four pinwheels fight, and honestly, I was probably waiting more than I was actually fighting. And then, like after that, I went over to the Duke's Archives, and here's the thing, right? So I had to use a melee weapon to kill the snake man who drops the key. I think I could get around it by using a magic weapon, but the only thing is, I'm not going to restart a whole playthrough because I can't warp. So I'm not going to restart the whole playthrough just so I can go and grab the magic weapon from Logan and then do this. But it's not actually an enemy, so I'd say it still doesn't break the challenge. And then apart from that, yeah, pretty much just went to the Seath boss fight. The run back was annoying. And also, he was very resistant to magic, but he was still a massive pushover anyway.
That's just the way he is. He goes hollow. I just have to change him again.
Yo, what? Yo. That is disturbing, Onion Daughter of Katarina. That is disturbing. Okay, so I just do want to make it clear that I'm not going to be doing an all bosses run just because I feel like we probably all know how that's going to turn out. I'm just going to demolish all of them. That being said, I did want to go and pay Manus a visit. I'm sure he's super lonely by himself in the abyss. And honestly, Manus was actually really difficult. I actually died more times than I can count on this guy. Because I was basically forced to use RTSR because he's pretty magic resistant, I think. And he has a lot of HP. But, you know, I only got I need to get a few hits off and I was able to do it eventually using Dark Bead and Soulsborne. I went doing RTSR the whole way through, just enough so I could pull this thing off. But yeah, you know, this genuinely took me quite a while. Manus isn't, you know, he's not easy like Artovius was, so it's quite difficult. I've been using the same catalyst this whole run, so I think it's time to change things up a bit since we already killed Manus. I'm going to use the Manus catalyst from here on out. This does much better damage. The downside is it does half our casts. But if we're doing so much damage that we're just eliminating the boss in like 4 hits, then we don't even need to worry about that anyways. Before I go and eliminate the final boss, there is one last stop I want to do, and that is Ash Lake. Your way. Is that the Onion Bros? I need to go check out the Onion Bros. Wait. No. Onion Bro of Katarina is dead.
He goes hollow. I just have to kill him again.
Wait a minute. This was no unexpected tragedy. This was a murder. And the culprit is the Onion Daughter of Katarina herself. I'm sorry to do this, but I must avenge the Onion Head of Katarina. He may be gone, but his legacy will live through me. Now let's go and get this final boss and beat the game.
Bless thy safe return. Let Garth and Fraft serve your highness. We are here to serve your highness. Let true dark be cast upon the world.
So now it's time to answer the question. Is magic OP in this game? And early game, it's actually pretty balanced mostly. But once you get past Anno Londo, you can get some spells that make this game absolutely broken. So the final answer is absolutely. This magic is absolutely OP and is insane. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and go and check out my other videos because you'll probably like them as well. And please comment what what you want me to do next. And we'll see you next time. How good Pyromancy is, because I might do a Pyromancy video as well. So please like, subscribe and comment down below.